Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, so a top drone company just announced it's moving its entire global headquarters. Now, this isn't just some boring change of address. Oh no. This is a move that could tell us a whole lot about who's going to build America's high-tech future and, maybe more importantly, where they're going to build it. So you might be asking, why should I care about one company moving, right? But this isn't just about moving vans and new office furniture. This is really a story about national strategy, and it gives us a fascinating peek into the future of a really critical industry. And here it is, the news that kicked this whole thing off. EagleNXT, a really big player in advanced drones, is packing up its global HQ and moving from Kansas all the way to Allen, Texas, smack dab in the middle of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. But listen, this is way more than just a corporate office shuffle. What EagleNXT is doing here is building a brand new, powerful center for American drone manufacturing and innovation, right in the heart of Texas. This move is a huge strategic expansion. See, up until now, their main drone production line was over in Switzerland. The new Texas facility doesn't replace that, it complements it by bringing manufacturing to the U.S. for the very first time. And they're going to be building some key stuff there, their advanced eBee vision mapping drones and their super important MicaSense sensors. You know, the eyes that are used for things like precision agriculture, all built right on American soil. And we're not just talking about a factory floor. This is going to be a fully integrated hub. You've got production, engineering, customer support, and marketing all under one roof. And anyone in tech will tell you, putting all those teams together in one building, that is the classic recipe for speeding up innovation. Big time. And get this, they are not wasting a single second. The grand opening is slated for April 2026, and they expect the whole place to be fully up and running just 1 month later in May. So yeah, this is happening, and it's happening fast. Okay, so that brings us to the billion-dollar question. Why Texas? And why now? Well, this was no random choice. This was a really calculated move, and it's all driven by 3 key strategic goals. Let's break it down. First, having a U.S. manufacturing base makes it way easier to sell to the American government, defense agencies, and public safety folks. Second, it lines up perfectly with this national push we're seeing for domestic production of critical tech. And third, it plugs them directly into the massive aerospace and tech talent pool that's just exploding in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The company's CEO, Bill Erbee, lays it out pretty plainly. He calls it a strategic advantage. What he's really saying is that by building these drones in the U.S., they're basically cutting through a ton of red tape for their most important customers, the government and public safety agencies. It gets critical tech into the field faster. Simple as that. Now, from the state's point of view, this is a massive win. Governor Greg Abbott sees this as cementing Texas's reputation as a magnet for corporate headquarters, especially in these booming aerospace and high-tech industries. It just fits perfectly with their economic vision for the state. And if we zoom right into the local impact, Dan Bowman, who's the president of Allen's Economic Development Corporation, he highlights what this really means for the community itself. We're talking high-quality jobs, a huge boost to local innovation, and another pillar supporting the city's really vibrant economy. You know, to really get why this headquarters move is such a big deal, it helps to see just how far EagleNXT has come. Their story is kind of like the story of the drone industry itself, all rolled into one. Just look at this timeline. It really shows you the whole journey. They kicked off back in 2010, focused purely on drones for farming. But then, through some really smart acquisitions, like buying MicaSense for their sensors and SenseFly for their mapping drones, they grew way beyond just agriculture. The rebranding to EagleNXT in 2025 was the signal of that change. And this move to Texas, well, that's the next logical step in their evolution into a diversified global tech leader. So all of this brings us right back to where we started. When a company with this kind of history and this kind of forward-looking strategy makes such a massive bet on one single location, you got to ask the question, is Texas about to become the new capital of the American drone industry? That's the really big thought this move leaves us with.